For more, let's bring in Agris Academy co-founder and former head of trading for Cargill, Jeff Kazin. Jeff, thank you so much. I was fascinated by the thread that you put on X describing your experiences down in Venezuela. But I want to kind of start where we are now and back into it. And is the first thing that needs to happen in Venezuela is just providing food to the people? And how do you do that, given the corruption that is still obviously rampant there?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing actually that happens, you have to have security on the ground. I mean, you have to be able to move product around and get it distributed. My personal concern, and this is a very personal issue to me, I have lots of friends and colleagues over the years that are Venezuelans. When the oil money shuts off, there will be no money. You know, there is commodity moving into the country, but as soon as there are no dollars, because there are no petrodollars, we're on the clock, in my opinion, and it's in my post. And so providing the basics of housing and food to combat hunger is just a foundational point that you got to get started with to allow a population to start to heal and start to think about getting back to work and doing work in society. It's a foundation, but security is not there today, and it's got to be, that actually has to be stage one.
Jeff, you make me think of something there. You were on the end of this where private assets were seized and became national assets, okay? Now you're we're maybe on the other direction of that, where you're trying to get national assets back into private hands so that you can expand production and forestall what you're talking about there, starvation. What do you think about the prospects of that? How hard is it to take a country that for decades has been mired in increasingly terrible socialism and then start to turn it around to prevent people from starving and being without what they need?
I think it's going to be a monumental task. I think we should not underestimate what it's going to take. As an example, a lot of these facilities take parts from major global manufacturers. It takes dollars to buy those parts. And even at the time I was involved, we were struggling to come up with dollars to buy tech equipment from global manufacturers. I'm sure that has just continued to deteriorate since my involvement. I expect that we will have a long road before even the basic processing systems can come back to life. But I am optimistic. I mean, that the equipment we need to provide basic staples is not super high tech. We're talking about pasta making, rice milling, flour milling. With the right energy of a country like the United States, that we could absolutely, in a very quick order, at least get the baseline going. And in the meantime, we're probably going to have to export some stuff from the U.S. just to stem that gap. And eventually, you want the Venezuelans. There is some domestic production available. There is arable land. There is the potential for livestock there. That has all collapsed. You can't defend it as a farmer or a producer. You could grow a crop, but it's going to get stolen. You could grow a pig, but when it's full grown, somebody's going to take it from you. So that whole industry is probably close to ground zero. So it's going to be a long road, and I think we should be ready for that road.
Jeff, you mentioned in an interview that I listened to that palm oil, as one example, was they were still able to produce it, but it was being smuggled to Colombia because they could sell it for dollars. But you are you are in the farming business. You teach other farmers how to manage buying futures and the like. But what about our willingness as a nation and a farming community and the agribusiness industry to go into Venezuela at this point and put down roots again, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cautionary tale. I can't speak for the major agricultural companies. They may not even be U.S. They could be. There are other significant players in the world. I think it's going to be a difficult sell to bring them in, until we get a real sense that there is going to be security as far as at the industrial scale. I think on the agriculture, like the production side, I think if you could get security, the U.S. agricultural sector is an amazingly efficient and energetic sector. and would provide resources, to come down there and jumpstart that part of the economy. But you got to have security. I mean, nobody wants to risk their life in that. But there's a lot of resource in this country, and I can include Canada in that too, that could really jumpstart this kind of basic sector.
Jeff Kazin, you've got firsthand expertise on the thorny issues confronting Venezuela and the U.S. We appreciate your perspective today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jeff.